What's going on, you guys? Petplatypus here, and it's time to review Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. I'm so happy to be able to say that. Two things I gotta say before we go into this. Number one, as the title says, this will be spoiler-free. And number two, I'm sick right now, and I was sick yesterday, of course, on fucking Star Wars Day. And, yeah, so if there's not, because I'm not feeling that great, so I don't want to do any tedious editing, so I might not show the actors' faces when I talk about them like I normally would, or any images, because I just don't feel like doing the editing, and if I sound weird or sniffle throughout the video, like that, just bear with me. I am sick right now, but I gotta get this review done, because it's fucking Star Wars. So, with all that being said, let's talk about it. How to start this off. I don't want to go into spoilers, obviously. I don't even want to really... I want to be as vague as possible, like the trailers, but I have to say just one thing. It's not a spoiler. Don't click away. It's just, if you're going into this movie expecting something you have never seen before from Star Wars, don't. This is kind of a New Hope on repeat. There are differences, and it's done well. And I'll talk about it in the spoiler section. Not section, but in the spoiler video. But this is kind of a New Hope on repeat in some areas. And I'll talk about that more in some criticism, but it is done well. So I guess I'll start off with... Can't really talk about the premise too much, so... but yeah, like I said, just if you're going in expecting something totally new, I have to warn you that there will be a lot of what you've seen before, just done through different directing and different ways of presenting the action sequences and some really good acting and everything, so it is different, but I guess I'll talk about the performances. John Boyega as Finn, he's fantastic. He's funny, he's likable, he's a little bit awkward, he's not like a badass, he was a stormtrooper, but he wasn't like top class, stormtrooper. I don't think he'd gone on very many missions, if any, in the beginning of the movie. So, yeah, he has room to grow as a character. He's cool. Then you've got Rey. Rey is really a big surprise for me. I thought she looked good in the trailers, but she's actually a really good, really well-developed character. She's a badass, but she's not just macho chick. She has a female side too, and she's just a really well-rounded character. BB-8, I would say, is also kind of a main character. He's a worthy successor to R2-D2, honestly. He's got a completely unique design. Well, not completely. Their heads are kind of similar, but... he's a totally different type of robot. I love that he's a practical effect. I think that's an amazing practical effect that everyone thought he was CGI when we saw the trailer, the first trailer. And yeah, he just has all kinds of cool mannerisms and little gadgets. He's a fun little guy. I still like R2-D2 more. I think R2-D2 is just a fucking war veteran. He's been through it all. He's R2-D2, but yeah, BB-8 was an awesome little comedic relief robot, I guess. But he served his purpose here and there. The plot does kind of revolve around him. I don't want to say too much, but again, a New Hope on repeat, you know what I mean? But, so, yeah. Then you have, I guess, another main character, you could say, is Han Solo, played by Harrison Ford, and Chewbacca, played by... Shit, really? Am I really forgetting his name? The guy in the Chewbacca suit. I'll have to put his name. I'll have to do one little bit of editing and put his name on the screen. But, yeah. Because, that's not like anybody could be in the suit. I still want to give credit because they got the original guy in that suit. But, yeah, so Harrison Ford as Han Solo was fucking fantastic. He was probably one of the most... He was like the standout performance of the movie, honestly. Maybe outside of Kylo Ren, because he's in a lot of the movie, and he's Han Solo. For a while, Harrison Ford has been playing Harrison Ford in a lot of movies. Even in the last Indiana Jones movie... Which I don't hate as much as everyone else does, because I think a couple of the Indiana Jones movies are bad, not just that one, but... not bad, because they're supposed to be silly, but whatever, it's a total different story, but... even in that one, he was kind of not quite Indiana Jones. This is Han Solo. Like, I swear they told him when they were directing it, like, hold on, do this with your face to capture Han Solo yelling and everything. It was just pitch perfect. But he wasn't just Han Solo 30 years later. You could tell the character grew. You could tell he developed. You could tell a few decades have gone by. He's older. His relationship with Leia is not what it was at the end of, Return of the Jedi. So, all that's great. They developed his character. He's a character who grew. All the characters are three-dimensional. So the main cast, awesome. The villains. Starting with Kylo Ren. He may not be what you'd expect from the trailer. He's a lot more... human. I thought he was going to be Vader 2.0. He'd be intimidating, he'd be cool, but he wouldn't quite be, Darth Vader, because he'd be living in Darth Vader's shadow. He wants to be Darth Vader. We can tell that from the trailer, but he's much different. He is far more human, far more emotional, just a much different character than you'd expect, but it's fantastic. Just awesome. So, yeah, I mean, there's really not much more to say. I mean, the guy who plays him does a fantastic job. The voice sounds... When I first heard the voice in the trailer, I was like, okay, that sounds like a generic, deep voice. But when you hear it in the movie, and you see what this guy can do with the Force, because he does things with the Force we haven't quite seen before, and his lightsaber's fantastic. It's awesome. People who complained about the hilt guard, it was fine in the movie. So, yeah. And they never explain why he has it. He just kind of has it. It's just his lightsaber. It's cool. But yeah, he was fantastic. Other villains, I'll save Captain Phasma for last. The other guy, I forget what his name was, but he was like the head, kind of the Grand Moff Tarkin. Remember Peter Cushing, I believe? His character from the first, from A New Hope, or Star Wars as the purists like to call it. He's like the head general guy. Like, even he kind of gives orders to Kylo Ren, kind of like Kylo Ren is in the Darth Vader position. And he does a good job, even though he's barely in the movie. And then we have Captain Phasma, and Captain Phasma does exactly jack fucking shit in this movie. I was actually very disappointed with her. She's a female stormtrooper. She has like the chrome armor and the cape cloak thing. I was expecting a lot from Captain Phasma. We can still get more later, but she does exactly jack shit in this movie. So yeah, that was kind of a disappointment, and she seemed cool. So hopefully we see more of her. Oh, a main character I forgot. Poe. I forget his last name. I don't want to like fuck it up. But Poe, he was the pilot in the movie. The best pilot the Rebels have, and you can tell when he's in action. They don't just say it. He demonstrates it. He was a really likable character. One of my friend's favorite characters in the movie. I wish I'd seen more of him as well, and that's why I'm so glad this is a planned out trilogy, because we probably will see more Phasma. We probably will see more Poe. And, yeah, so with all that being said, I guess I can move on to like the technical aspects of the movie. But the main cast and villains, awesome. A couple of the main cast were villains like Captain Phasma and Poe. Weren't the greatest, they didn't have a lot of screen time, but when they were there, they were, well, I can't say, Captain Phasma was like okay at best, kind of meh. Poe was great when he was on screen, so yeah, his chemistry with John Boyega's character Finn was fantastic. So, the technical side. I mean, what do you really expect? I mean, it's Star Wars. The special effects, for the most part, are amazing. There's one character, I can't give it away because it's a spoiler. His CGI, I mean, he was on a hologram, so his character, I mean, maybe the hologram made him look a little weird, but his CGI was kind of phony. Also a character I don't really think that needs to be CG, but whatever. But yeah, there's a really good mix of CGI and practical. It was really good in that regard to see real sets in a modern Star Wars movie for the first time, outside of like the couple that are in Phantom Menace. So that was awesome. And yeah, I mean, just it really took me back seeing the practical designs of the alien creatures and the fucking mix with the CGI. And there was probably CGI in there I didn't even notice because it's very, very good CGI. I mean, it's noticeable for the most part on some creatures, but I'm sure some in the background you might not even be able to notice. And yeah, but I mean, not just like the special effects themselves, but like the visual design. Like you saw it in the trailer, the crashed Star Destroyer. We also see a downed like Imperial Walker. They look awesome. They could be anything. They could be just junk, and they would look cool. But the fact that they are Imperial, you see this just massive Star Destroyer. You really get the sense of scale of these things when they're crashed in the desert like that. It's just awesome. And you got the sense of scale in Empire Strikes Back as well, of course, but still, to see them from like a person's perspective looking up at them, it's just insane. They're like giant, they're like fucking cities practically just floating in space. It's insane. So, yeah, I thought the visual design of the movie, not just like the special effects themselves, but the cinematography and how the shots were done, it was very J.J. Abrams, but he also mixed in a lot of those classic Star Wars elements. So all that was awesome. And the audio, it's fucking Star Wars. The sound design is iconic. The music is practically a character in and of itself. The music, of course, by John Williams is amazing. So, special effects and cinematography, fantastic. The music was also very, very good. And the fighting was complemented by the music. Like, there weren't any, like, unbelievable action sequences that you've, like, never seen before, but it's really good action, complemented by incredible sound design and music, which boosts the whole thing. So, and that's pretty much always been Star Wars' strategy, but yeah, so my only criticisms, like I said, this movie is kind of like A New Hope on repeat. There's a lot of plot point for plot point scenes that are very, very, very similar to A New Hope. And, yeah, I mean, it's just, like I said, I can't say too much without spoiling it, but that is my one big criticism. And I guess you could say the Star Wars movies kind of have that, Return of the Jedi kind of has like A New Hope with the Death Star, and even Phantom Menace, they find Anakin on Tatooine, and fucking, there's, the fucking Qui-Gon Jinn gets killed, like the Master gets killed. It's not right in front of Anakin, but still. There's similarities. I mean, I do think Lucas changed it up a little bit in the prequels compared to this, but not to give the prequels too much credit. But yeah, and there's no bullshit political stuff. I mean, there could have been a touch more politics, because there's like a New Republic, and then it's not really the Empire, but it's like the First Order, but then there's still a Resistance, so it's like, okay, I can understand if there's a New Republic, and then, the Empire's still fighting for control, so they're not really in charge anymore, but they want to take over again. They're the First Order. But then you have the Resistance, so it's weird. So, I mean, some of that could have been explained more, and I can't believe I'm saying that in a Star Wars movie, because no one cares about the fucking politics in the Star Wars movie. But, yeah. But, I mean, again, I'm trying to be vague, but I've talked about it pretty much as I can. I loved the movie. Like I said, that one criticism for some people might break the movie for them. I could kind of understand that, but like I said, the acting, the characters, the different detours they go on and everything, just the way the whole thing is set up, it does feel like a continuation. It doesn't feel like a complete, like, it's similar plot points, but you're not just getting, like, filler. You are getting new characters who do develop, who do become important. Other things happen that I'll have to talk about in the spoiler video, but it's just, it's a really good continuation and kind of a good reintroduction into Star Wars, I guess, but I suppose for all the hype and all the build-up after all these years, to just kind of get A New Hope again-ish with some Empire Strikes Back stuff thrown in there, it can be disappointing, but I think it's done so well that, it's just, yeah, it's just done so well. I don't want to give the movie a final rating in this video. I'm going to see it again on Tuesday. I'm going to take my mom to see it for a Christmas gift, and, well, not really a Christmas gift, it's just she likes Star Wars, so I want to take her to see it, but getting, close to Christmas, and take one of my other friends who didn't make it to this showing to see it. So I'll give a final rating then when I do the spoiler video after seeing the movie again, but, for now, I don't want to give a final rating, so I just loved the movie so far. I have to sit on it, got to see it again, but yeah, and I really do want to talk about the spoilers, but I'll have to wait until I see the movie again. Maybe not. I might just do the spoiler video with one of my friends who you've seen in some of my other movie reviews, but yeah, I might do another video on the movie after seeing it again on Tuesday, but my initial reaction is I loved it. There are elements I didn't like that I have to talk about in the spoiler section. Not that I didn't like, but I'll just leave it at that. So, yeah, Star Wars Episode 7 The Force Awakens is a good movie. It is way, way better than the prequels. It has great acting. It has great special effects. It's just fucking awesome. You see the opening title crawl. I teared up. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. They're my favorite movies of all time. And honestly, like I said, it is like A New Hope on repeat. It might be better than A New Hope. And I know that's like blasphemy to say, but I mean, come on, A New Hope. They're my favorite movies, but A New Hope is... It's got some shoddy acting, and Luke's a little whiny. Not Anakin from the prequels, but Luke is a little whiny, and... it's not... It was independently funded. It's good, but George Lucas has never been a great director. So, yeah, this might be better than A New Hope. Might be. Again, I'd have to see them both again. Not as good as Empire Strikes Back, for sure. Return of the Jedi, I don't know. But the fact that I'm even having that conversation about this movie speaks volumes. Even though it is, like A New Hope, it is still its own thing to a certain extent, and it is really, really good. I think it is worth your time. Go out and see it. You probably already have. But, just in case, I didn't want to spoil anything here. But if you haven't seen it, go see it. I think it's definitely worth your time. It's an awesome Star Wars movie. It makes up for the prequels completely. And I think we're on the right track to see some really fucking good movies. Can't wait for Rogue One. But anyways, thanks for watching this video. Tell me what you guys thought of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. So happy I can fucking say that in the comment section below. Follow me on Instagram. I post things there sometimes. Give this video a thumbs up. That would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already or if you like what you've seen here, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.